Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming and thank you for waiting. As you know that following the crash of the Cessna 172R, registration number DQFTR, near the crash that took place near Mandalakoro in Vanwalevu on 26 February 2018, the government actually commissioned a report as required by law. And we had appointed a independent forensic engineer, an air accident investigator, Mr. Andrew McGregor of New Zealand-based ProSolve Limited, to investigate the actual accident. And he has given his report, which we have here now. This is available also on our website. As by law, it has to be made available, so please go to that. It's www.civilizaviation.gov.fj. We have also, prior to this report now being made public, have also met with the family members of the deceased who were involved. We just had a meeting whilst you were actually here. We met with the father of the student, Mr. Emosi Lutu, and the sister Alicia Lutu, and also we met with the mother of the pilot instructor, Miss Joanna Bainivalu. Essentially, ladies and gentlemen, the investigator's report states that on the morning of 26 February 2018, 3 occupants, a flying instructor, a student pilot, and a friend of the student pilot, departed from their base at Nandi and flew on a cross-country training flight to Lambasa. After waiting for approximately 3 hours for the weather to improve, 2 of the occupants, the flying instructor and the student pilot, departed for Savu at 11:37 a.m., while 1 occupant, the friend of the student pilot, remained behind at Lambasa. At the time of the aircraft's departure from Lambasa Airport, it was likely that visibility and cloud coverage complied with visual flight rules at the time of the departure, in accordance with Fiji's air navigation regulations and the cross-country training flight plan. However, soon after departing Lambasa, weather conditions and visibility across the mountains quickly deteriorated, thereby entrapping the aircraft without an escape route and causing it to impact steep mountainous terrain. The flying instructor, who was a pilot in command, had a total of 1,257 hours of flying experience at the time of the accident. The accident investigation report issued several recommendations, including a requirement for general aviation pilots to undergo mountain flying training and the development of a new training and information module on Fiji's climatology. The latter would focus on Fiji's unique weather patterns, including the risks and unpredictable nature of tropical low-pressure trough weather systems, and facilitate improvements in weather briefing service for pilots. The Department of Civil Aviation will work closely on the implementation of these recommendations to ensure that Fijian pilots are better prepared for risks involved in mountain flying and unpredictable weather changes in weather. The Solicitor General, who is also the Permanent Secretary responsible for the Department of Civil Aviation, will be meeting with all the stakeholders within the next 1 month to ensure that the recommendations of the report do get implemented and how we can actually have that implemented. There are obviously some that are on a more broader scale. There are some that are more specific. I would like to, of course, once again give our condolences to the family members, and also for their patience in waiting for the report. The investigator did meet some of them during the course of the investigations. We'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the search and rescue team, because if you see in the report, the investigator does refer to it being very treacherous terrain. And he in fact remarked, in the discussions we had, that he was quite amazed that the search and rescue team was able to actually reach the crash site, and sometimes even at their own peril. So we'd like to thank the fire department, the police department, the RFMF, and of course the villagers of Dongaru in particular, and the other surrounding areas who actually helped in the investigation process, but also in terms of the search and rescue process. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, what we have seen that, just to preempt some of the questions you may actually ask, the commercial flying actually won't have necessarily these kind of problems, because as you know, this is a Cessna. A Cessna has very what we call basic equipment. It does not have the same level of avionics that your commercial flights do have. So, for example, the Fiji Link flies the Twin Otters, the 5 brand new Twin Otters. The avionics is quite advanced. Even the ATRs are quite advanced. We have the other company that flies. The name which escapes me. Northern Air, sorry. Northern Air flies Islanders and Bandaras. And of course, we'll be talking to them to see how the avionics are. But we most certainly can say that Fiji Link with the Twin Otters and ATR won't have these kind of issues that we do have. But there is a particular reason as to why you have the Cessnas being flown, because your very basic manual capacity it has. So very basic avionics, but more manual intervention. And that's for training purposes. And if you see the recommendation, if you go to the actual website, in the recommendation you'll find a number of areas that they do talk about as to what can be done. As I highlighted, one of them was talking about that the CAF require pilots to undergo mountain flying training for both PPL and CPL licenses, and this should be required for both fixed wing and rotary wing aircraft. That CAF, in conjunction with Fiji Meteorological Service, develop a new training and information module related to Fiji's climatology, because in tropical climates like Fiji, you can have a sudden onset or change in weather patterns. And how do you negotiate that? And in fact, if you see in the report itself, you see the diagram, and if I can show it to you, you see what the actual pilot did do. He did everything possible that he should be doing. So you can see when he saw the bad weather come in, he flew around to try and get out of it, and he got out of one patch and into another area. So there's no assignment of blame to the pilot itself in respect of what he did, but it's more to do, unfortunately, with the weather patterns. And again, one of the recommendations is that for weather briefings in person, it's recommended that CAF require flight training organizations to compel their students and instructors to attend briefings in person at the premises of the Fiji Meteorological Services, particularly during the wet season when tropical low pressure troughs and bad weather are the forecast. So it is also recommended that CAF specify the types of weather briefing information to be elevated before a flight is commenced, as referred to in ANR 69. The weather briefing information should be specified as being necessary. So you have general weather reporting grades. Again, we have recommendations pertaining to recommendations for Fiji Meteorological Services as to what they should be doing. They recommend the need for additional facilities and services. So, for example, they recommended automatic weather stations should be installed at Lambasa, Mount Delanikoro, and Mount Evans. They've also said that the website, FMS website, should be made more user-friendly for mobile smartphones, so pilots can keep on constantly checking that. This certainly will be part of the Digital Fiji program that we're looking at, ensuring giving people access to mobile phones, etc. Again, it is recommended that FMS provide assistance to CAF in developing a new training and information module related to Fiji climatology. The development of this new training model should be following the guidelines as has been appended to the report. So a number of recommendations have been made going forward, and again there's a recommendation for the Pacific Flying School as to what they should do in respect of being proactive regarding risk management for review processes. Again, unfortunately, because of this incident, it's given us an opportunity to review many of the systems. But as you can see, the gist of the report is that the weather patterns in Fiji can be, in particular in tropical climate like Fiji, can be quite dangerous, in particular if in terrain that is quite treacherous. So I'll open up the floor for any questions.